And then, Madam Mayor, I have some prepared comments. On Wednesday, February 27th, the judicial confirmation hearing was held before Judge John Luster, seeking approval of the issuance of $33 million in revenue bonds to pay for upgrades to the City of Coeur d'Alene sewage treatment facility. Some representatives from the city and its bond council appeared in support of the petition. One representative, myself, appeared and spoke in opposition. First, I need to acknowledge I had previously voted in the affirmative to move forward with the judicial confirmation process. From the outset, however, despite assurances from our city attorney of the legality of this process, this route never did sit well with me. In some 11th hour research, I made the discovery of what I presented to the court. Article 8, Section 3 of the Idaho Constitution requires that people by a majority vote approve such revenue bonds in an election. This section specifically refers to sewage treatment plants and states that the revenue bonds can be issued to pay for the construction, extension, or equipping of sewage treatment plants only, quote, with the assent of a majority of the qualified electors voting at an election to be held for that purpose, end quote. Judicial confirmation would be unconstitutional. This constitutional requirement was brought to Judge Luster's attention, and he agreed to take the matter under advisement and issue a ruling within 30 days. Also, on February 28, 2013, City Attorney Mike Gridley contacted me and said that because I objected to the judicial confirmation process for issuance of the revenue bonds, he would exclude me from council discussions concerning this matter. Pursuant to Idaho Code Section 50-28A, which reads in part, quote, "The city attorney shall be the legal advisor of the municipal corporation," end quote. I submit that the city attorney has no authority to exclude me from any such discussions. The city attorney's duty is to impartially explain legal considerations to the council and mayor, not direct policy. Furthermore, by excluding a duly elected representative from participating in the legislative process, the city attorney would be excluding my constituents as well. Should the city attorney choose to persist in attempting to usurp the legislative authority of the voters have entrusted in me, I will have no choice but to file an ethics complaint with the Idaho Bar Association and would insist that the city attorney recuse himself while the ethics investigation is conducted.
Madam Mayor, I have a question I'd like to follow up. Steve, did you meet with Warren Wilson prior to the judicial confirmation hearing?
I met with Sid Fredrickson and Warren Wilson at the sewage treatment plant on Tuesday, the day before.
Did you discuss the legal case, the confirmation hearing that was going to be held the next day?
No.
You did not discuss the confirmation hearing that was going to be held the next day?
No.
Really? Did you let him know that you were going to be coming out in opposition to this position that was duly voted on by the council?
No.
So when you went there the next day and introduced yourself as a member of the city council to the judge, were you speaking as a citizen, or were you using your city council title to take an adverse position with the city?
Well, when I went there, I was going as a councilman.
Yet there was a vote, a unanimous vote, on which
Correct.
you were with it, that with the position of the city for which the city attorney needs to defend.
And I acknowledge that in my comments. I changed my mind.
But you were then, but then what are the ethics of talking to the city attorney, finding out a bunch of information about the argument that's going to be made that you knew in your capacity as a city council member, and then going in front of the judge and using that against the city?
I didn't do that.
Potentially costing taxpayers $30,000 a day in fines if we don't get this judicial confirmation properly.
But I didn't do that.
Are you sure the record reflects your reflection of what you're saying tonight, Steve?
Which record would you be
Well, the
referring to?
record of your discussion with the city staff and the record of your comments before the judge.
I don't follow.
Mike, well, let's before we continue, Mike, will you want to guide us here? Because I don't know, after what you've said, if this can even, if we can discuss this with Steve. We need some legal advice.
Well, there's certainly some things we can't discuss with Steve, or I can't discuss with Steve. I think he's misstated certainly my conversation with him. I'm the attorney for the city of Coeur d'Alene, the organization. I don't represent any of you individually. I represent the organization. The organization has filed a legal proceeding called a judicial confirmation. And I guess contrary to Councilman Adams' opinion, it is a constitutional method to approve and has been used for years and years and years and years and years and years to approve projects like sewer treatment plants, wastewater treatment plants. To say it is unconstitutional for this procedure is wrong. It's an outlying position that's not supported by any authority that I'm aware of.
Well,
So what I told
authority would be
Mr.
the Idaho
Adams,
State
excuse me, I'm
Constitution.
not done. Excuse me, sir, I'm not finished. What I told you the other day when I called you is that it's not appropriate for you to take an adverse position in a litigated case against the organization, and I, as an attorney, cannot represent both of you. In other words, I can't represent the people on one side, you, and the entity on the other side. So I cannot communicate to my clients, and I have an ethical duty to communicate to my clients. Danielle Quaid, who also represents the city, has the same duty to communicate confidentially with our clients. I would breach that duty if I communicated to you, an adverse party, in their presence. So, no, there will be no discussion about this litigation where you are an adverse party to the organization City of Coeur d'Alene.
Okay, that's fine. So if I...
And you acknowledged that when I talked to you
Right.
Thursday and said, I understand.
Correct, and I did some further research and discovered that you can't do that, Mike. According to Idaho statutes, the city attorney shall be the legal advisor of the municipal corporation. The municipal corporation is the citizens of the city of Coeur
No,
d'Alene.
the municipal corporation is the corporation. It's not you, and you are an adverse party to that municipal
Government
corporation.
by the people,
You can
of the
have a
people,
difference
for
of
the people.
opinion, sir, but
Okay.
you cannot get in the middle
Well,
of a
then, Mike,
litigated case.
It sounds like then I'll definitely have to be filing an ethics complaint should you have discussions that exclude me.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we exclude Mr. Adams from all discussions on litigation regarding the wastewater treatment plant.
I'll second that motion.
Is that
Mayor?
appropriate to take?
Sure.
Sure, okay. There's a motion on the floor and a second. The attorney has told me it's appropriate to take the motion under his advice to exclude Mr. Adams from discussion on the item under litigation, the judicial confirmation.
And just to be clear, and I told this to Mr. Adams when we talked, you certainly all have difference of opinions on things. This is a matter of a litigated case in a court where the organization that I represent, you are adverse to that. You've taken an adverse position. And just like I cannot represent both sides in a divorce or both sides in a car wreck, I can't represent or have you be a party to the confidential conversations with my client. Simple. So be my guest to go to the bar.
Oh, I will, and it sounds like it shouldn't. Councilman Kennedy's, Madam Mayor, point of order, he can't make a motion to exclude me. I'm a duly elected representative. He cannot make a motion to exclude me. I have a fiduciary duty to the citizens of the city of Coeur d'Alene. Now, back to the constitutional argument.
Are you debating the motion? There's a motion on the floor right now. Are
I'm
you debating the
I'm addressing the constitutionality of Article 8, Section 3, and
Okay, are you
sewage
addressing the
treatment plant.
motion, Steve?
So-
There's a motion on the floor.
Well,
Are you addressing the motion?
He continued, so it got skewed in the middle of this, so Councilman Kennedy is out of order. He could not,
No.
it was not appropriate time for him to make that motion.
Excuse me, Steve, excuse me. I get to decide, unfortunately,
No, this
whether it
council
be.
gets to decide.
I get to decide
This
if I,
body,
Steve,
the body, this council, us six,
Steve,
are the power,
I get to
Madam
decide
Mayor.
if I should accept a motion, and I did. There
Okay,
is
well,
a motion.
You are out of line then, Madam Mayor.
5-minute break.